The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of KSMQ Public Service Media Incorporated or its assigns.
And welcome to On Cue. I'm your host, Eric Olson. Today we are talking about music in Austin, economic development in Mankato, and biking your way to school or work. Stay with us. On Cue is next.
From KSMQ Television in Austin, this is On Cue, connecting interesting issues and interesting people. On Cue.
The MacPhail Center for Music is focused on transforming lives and communities through exceptional music learning, and they are coming to Austin. Cheryl Collins is here to tell us more about what this means for the community. Welcome, Cheryl.
Hello.
And congratulations on the position. We've heard little tidbits about MacPhail here and there coming to Austin. What is it all about?
Well, MacPhail Center of Music is the nation's leading nonprofit music education center. It has over 13,000 students in over 46 counties, and they are
And it's I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's strictly a Minnesota thing,
yes,
which I didn't
that's
realize.
Right. So
5 locations in the metro area.
Exactly.
Right?
So there's Minneapolis, Golden Valley, Chanhassen, and Apple Valley, and White Bear Lake, and now Austin, Minnesota.
Right, the first one really outside of the area.
Right, but they do have 92 partnerships that are tailor-made for each community.
And so these are what, complementary to an existing program? Say, for instance, like my son, we were talking just before we went on, he's a freshman, he's in jazz band at Austin High and concert band. Would he be a person who would be interacting with a MacPhail program? Or is this for people just starting at music?
It's all levels, ages 0 to over 100 years of age, because we really are focused on lifelong learning of music. And yes, we do definitely complement the already existing programs that are in Austin. And then we reach out to those who maybe haven't had an opportunity to have music learning.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Older folks too.
Absolutely. We have a program that's called MacPhail for Life, and it is, or Music for Life, pardon me, and it's for 55 plus.
Okay. And this is a new position for you. You come from the teaching side of things as a music teacher with a little bit of Austin background. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you here to Austin, how you got here.
Well, we were brought here to Austin. My husband works for Hormel Foods, and we moved here in 2007, and then lived here for 4 years, then went to Minneapolis and came back. And yes, I was a music teacher, teaching band in Texas for 4 years.
Okay. So what do you see? You don't have a building yet, and you're brand new to this role. I mean, relatively new to coming to Austin. What does the next 6 months, year look like for you as far as building the program?
Within the next year, we are doing research through surveys with the school district, focus groups, and just reaching out to community and community leaders to find what needs they have for our program. And then once we have that research, we're going to start formulating ideas of how we can build our program.
Okay, that's great. You know, regular viewers of this program, both of them who are watching, just kidding, but they know that I do a lot of talking. I do a lot of standing on the soapbox for our region embracing music. Because a lot of places around the country and even in Minnesota, in the public schools, that's the first place to cut, it seems like, cut the music program. And here that the opposite really seems to be happening, and that is even more so the case with MacPhail coming here. It's kind of an unusual little pocket.
Absolutely. We do definitely have a rich music culture here in Austin, and there already are programs for all ages. You know, we have Northwestern Singers, which is, you know, typically can be all ages. We have the symphony, we have our school district programs. So really we are just here to enhance those programs and then hopefully reach out to all backgrounds that we have here in Austin.
Yep, the community we came from in northern Minnesota didn't have an orchestra program at all. You know, didn't offer one, and here it's thriving. You know, so that's
absolutely
just really something to never forget how important that is. You know, so who are your partners here with the MacPhail Center for Music? Will you be working with groups, volunteer groups? Do you need volunteers or any of that kind of thing?
Well, we are working with the school district, and then our current faculty in Minneapolis is able to come and run clinics and to help to train teachers who are already wonderful here in Austin. So that's kind of where we've started, and we hope to, in the future, hire all our local teachers to come on board to support MacPhail.
Okay. Is there a philosophy? When my kids were young years ago, you know, there were different kinds of music programs that had, you know, different philosophies. I can't remember the names of them. I should remember them, but not Montessori. That was education. But you know, like a way of teaching, like Suzuki violin or something. Well, is that the MacPhail model?
We do offer Suzuki violin. There are several program areas that we do offer. As far as philosophy, I think that MacPhail is really, you know, we find it important to find out what the community needs and what each student needs. So we're constantly doing research and constantly doing training to find ways. You may teach one student and not quite reach them, so you need to have a backup plan to learn, you know, what can I have in my pocket to teach that same concept a different way. So we're really big into education of our faculty and staff.
Okay. And maybe I'm sorry I'm throwing hypothesis out there, just possibilities, but say the high school band director needs his trumpet section to improve or something. Would they bring the players to you and like work with a sectional with them or something? I mean, help me out with that.
Well, currently we have been working with Mr. Mariska's band students on their all-state audition music. So our teachers from MacPhail, Minneapolis have come down and worked with specific sections for that. Now, here in the future, again, we hope to have local people on staff that can do that.
Okay. And then do families pay do they become a member like the YMCA or something with MacPhail? Well,
we hope to reach all students of all backgrounds, regardless of their financial ability. So while there will in the future, there's a possibility of fee-based programming, we're still doing the research, and we, again, reach all students of all backgrounds.
Okay. So where does your funding come from?
Well, currently we have, Hormel Foundation reached out to us, so that is currently one of our sponsors currently. So.
Sources, okay,
yes.
Because if you're going to bring folks down, you know, the community, we need to know how to help, you know, and whether that's working with the school district or contracting with them, I don't know.
And the Hormel Foundation has enabled us to be in Austin currently.
And in Minneapolis, how are those, do you know how they're funded?
They have various sponsors.
Like foundations and so on? Yes,
absolutely.
Oh, okay, okay. And then if people want more information specifically about the Austin program, is there a phone number or website?
You know, I can be reached at, my email address is Collins, COLLINS, Cheryl, CHERYL, at MacPhail.org.
We'll put that on the screen.
And you can also find a lot of information just by simply going to our website, MacPhail.org.
And there's an A in that, folks, MacPhail.
Thank you.
MacPhail.org.
O-R-G.
Okay. Wonderful. This is really exciting, folks, for Austin to improve, bring more musicians out, and maybe develop a skill later in life. I didn't know that about the older No, I thought it was strictly school age
Oh,
folks.
no, 0 to 100. We have a lot of people over the age of 55. Some even just pick up an instrument for fun, something they've always wanted to do.
Wonderful. Cheryl Collins, welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And congrats. Best of luck to you at MacPhail.
Thank you.
Stay with us. Jonathan Zierdt joins me next. He's all fired up about the future of Mankato. We'll find out why.
You can watch On Cue anytime by visiting the KSMQ TV website, ksmq.org.
And welcome back. Mankato is experiencing a surge in job growth, and Forbes magazine recently ranked Greater Mankato third in the nation for best small places for business and careers. Here to tell us more is Jonathan Zierdt, President and CEO of Greater Mankato Growth. Welcome.
Thank you.
And there's an add-on to that statistic about jobs that
Well,
you've just learned.
Yeah, there is. You know, we just learned last week, based on our own research, that we are in the top 5% nationally for job growth. Top 5%.
And why is that? Tell folks that might not be familiar.
Well, in the last 4 years, really, every month we monitor our job growth, and what we've been seeing is record increases over the last year. Every month we've set new all-time highs in our job growth.
Certain industry-based or
Well, what happens is people are always looking for a definitive industry, and this is part of the secret of the Greater Mankato marketplace. It's an incredibly diverse economy. So whenever we have these surges in job growth or consistent gains, it's very difficult for us to pinpoint it on a particular industry or even an industry sector. In fact, the last month when we had our job growth, every single sector, private, public, manufacturing, private business services, retail, everybody saw an uptick in their employment. So it's constantly a balanced portfolio our economy is, and that's what gives us this consistent growth.
Wow, it's not one big manufacturer coming in and creating 100
Not at all.
jobs.
Not at all. The largest employer we have in the community is roughly around 3,000, and that's an
gotta be
aggregated
Mankato
number.
State.
Well, Mankato State would be Minnesota State University
Sorry.
Mankato would be more about 1,700,
Oh, okay.
but the Mayo Clinic Health System in the community itself has about 2,500 employees, and the entire footprint for the Mayo Clinic Health System that comes out of Mankato is about 3,500. Taylor corporations, when you aggregate Taylor corporations, are also in that
Oh, yeah,
3,000
there's that
range.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
just
also
that,
that one.
I forgot
But
about that.
manufacturing represents 18% of the economy, healthcare 18%, education 14%. It's a
Diversified,
very
yeah.
diversified economy and not dependent on a single sector or even a single business in those sectors.
MSU Mankato, spending time there, I didn't know that it's the second largest state facility, education facility in the state.
Yes, it is. It only trails the University of Minnesota, and there's a big gap between the University of Minnesota and Minnesota State Mankato.
Right.
But it's
But
it's
UMD and other
right.
schools, they're bigger than that. They have a lot to offer there.
Yep. 16 plus thousand, trending towards 20. It's added, it's expanded its offerings. Long time spent in graduate work through masters, et cetera, but now has PhD, doctorate work as well.
Your downtown has wonderful growth happening.
Yes.
New buildings,
Yes.
the center, obviously, Verizon, all
Right,
that stuff.
right.
And then there's like a lot of old character type
Correct.
buildings, like the next block.
Right.
For somebody who's not as involved as you are in the community, that's just what it looked like
Right.
to me. New, wow. And then how do you maintain the balance of both of those? Because that's I would imagine that's a big challenge.
Well, and it's more than even just the balance of those 8, 10, 12 blocks that you're thinking of, Eric. It's also as the community expands out into the hilltop areas and even into our surrounding communities. How do we keep the balance across that entire regional marketplace really thriving? And so it's really that mixture of all those pieces. And what we've seen happen again is over the last 3 years, we've seen $500 million in private business investment and expansions happen in our regional marketplace. The bulk of that happening in the core city of Mankato and North Mankato, but we're $500 million, $500 million in private sector investment. Some of that you're recognizing, the buildings that are going vertical in what we call the city center, the downtown. There's a renaissance taking place in our downtown or our city center. And so we have a 7-story office building that'll soon open, a 5-story one that's going up, another 5-story one with residential living on the top couple levels. That's all coming from private sector development that sees an opportunity in the Greater Mankato marketplace.
So does it just continue on and on, block to block? That's the thing, because there's character there.
Right.
VFW.
Right.
You know,
and you don't want to lose that.
You don't want to lose
Right.
it. Okay.
Right. You don't want to lose that. So we have names for these parts of the cities, right? Like the Old Town or the North Riverfront Drive, and there's some wonderful, charming niche retailers and small businesses that are there and very specialized activities. And you want to do what you can to foster those and create their own unique neighborhood and environment. So we're focused on that. We have an entire energy devoted into our city center in engaging the stakeholders, the businesses, the folks that live in the city center around activities and investment that happen just to keep the core center of the regional marketplace as vibrant as the rest of the marketplace. All of that has to stay equally vibrant.
When you talk to business leaders and folks in our area in the Rochester and a little farther south than Mankato, their first blush about Mankato is, well, it's a big retail center for folks, for agriculture, rural folks coming in to shop, retail. Is that what drives the economy?
I would tell you that what drives the economy are things that we call primary economy. So manufacturing, largest single sector of the economy, 18%. Healthcare, 18%. Very regional, lots of people coming in for healthcare in there. The other one you mentioned that it's difficult to get our hands around from a data standpoint because the state nor the federal government measure this the same way, is agriculture. Estimates on the size of agriculture and its dominance in the marketplace easily put that 20, 30, even 40% of the market is influenced by. A car dealer sells more cars because of a robust agricultural marketplace. We have manufacturers that manufacture goods that go into agricultural products. We have professional service firms that specialize in financial or legal activities related to agriculture. R&D and technology businesses that are there specializing in agriculture.
Well, so then that might be why you want to start another organization or a focus group to help us quantify that ag.
That's right. That's exactly right, Eric. We launched something that we call Project ABE. It's a code name, means Ag Business Epicenter. The idea behind that is think Napa Valley, think Silicon Valley, think Research Triangle. These are large geographic territories in the country that have a cluster of activity and a predominance located, and they're maximizing that opportunity. We have that in agriculture, and it's far beyond Mankato. As we sit here today in Austin, we have a marquee element related to that. So what's happening there is happening across the south central and southwest part of Minnesota, and that's really our Research Triangle or Silicon Valley. When we talk about the ag business epicenter, there's a really strong concentration, an urban piece of it that stems out of Mankato, but it extends across these 20, 30 counties.
So that's what you're going to bring together?
Yes, so that's what we're
ABE?
working on, with Project ABE, is really bringing all of those folks together to work more collectively in packaging and then building on our agricultural business opportunities that we have.
Packaging, you mean marketing yourself as a one-stop for ag or something?
Marketing the region as a destination for ag business activity. So if you were going to do something in technology today, people would go to Silicon Valley, wouldn't they? That's where they would go to be connected to technology, business, development, and industry. So our position is that if you want to do something in ag, if you want to be part of where ag is going and where it can go, you're going to be located in this agricultural business epicenter that's south central Minnesota. The biggest urban center of that is in the Greater Mankato MSA, but it's really a much larger territory.
So what, John Deere, when they want to build something new, they would somehow
they could
interact with Mankato or something?
Or the bigger region. We don't have any delusions that John Deere is going to put its corporate headquarters here in southern Minnesota.
But that startup little high-tech company might be there in Mankato.
Yep, you're spot on, Eric, spot on.
So it's a marketing, but will there be capital there, you hope, for incubation of businesses?
Yeah.
Where are you at in that process?
Well, there's a couple things. We have 4 focus areas that we call them action teams. One on promotion, how we package. The second on public policy matters that affect ag and ag business development. The third on talent or education. How do we develop future workforce in those industries? And again, it's more than just crops and cattle. It's manufacturing related to ag and technology. And then finally, the key, business development. How do we grow the economy? We're not going to add more farmland. We can have greater production, but there's also lots of other businesses, as you mentioned, like a John Deere or others. And we've just recently, this week, announced the hiring of our director for Project ABE, an individual who comes with great credibility out of the ag industry. And so we're bringing him on board starting April 1st.
Hey, wonderful.
Yeah.
So for people to engage, this is a Greater Mankato Growth. This is,
It is.
An offshoot of your organization.
Yes, yep.
And is it something that other business people can join you in somehow or connect?
Yes, we are seeking that now. We're creating the list of folks that want to participate on these 4 committees that I talked about. We're also working on relationships with partner organizations like ours across the regional marketplace, from Waseca to Faribault to Owatonna to Austin, going west to New Ulm. We're having some of those conversations with how do those chambers of commerce or economic development groups tie into this, because this benefits all of us. We're seeding the project, putting the money in, getting it started. We're using that from our resources as an organization. We don't know where that will go, but we want to get that started.
So, and you won't be the one going to all those trade shows in
It's not gonna
southern
be me.
Texas, sitting there in your booth promoting promoting Minnesota. That
But
won't
I hope
be
we
you.
do have some of those kinds of presences around the country, and people will
Yep.
start to see this as the destination.
Well, this has been a fascinating discussion, Jonathan. Please don't be a stranger
I hope you'll invite me back again.
to On Cue.
Yeah.
Jonathan Zierdt, President and CEO of Greater Mankato Growth, talking about the Agriculture Business Epicenter. Website is?
GreaterMankato.com, if you go there.
Okay, GreaterMankato.com.
Yep.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Stay with us. Vision 2020 update is coming up next.
Queue up your own comments for On Cue and send them to us at onq@ksmq.org. On Cue's Vision 2020 segment is brought to you by Hormel Foundation, Games People Play, and Turtle Creek Estates.
And welcome back. Time now for our Vision 2020 update. And Steve Kime joins us from the Bike Walk Committee of Vision 2020. Well, 'tis the season.
Great to
Is
be
that
back.
why
Thank
you're
you.
wearing red? You're excited
I'm
about
excited,
the
yes.
biking
It's
season?
nearly here. It could be today for me. So
The Bike Safety Bash.
yes,
Talk about that.
become an annual event for us. Started out kind of small, but we're growing that. And this year planned, we will hold it on May 17th, Sunday, May 17th, from 1 to 3 at the Lions Park. And we will have 250 helmets on hand to, fortunately, with the help of grants and the Y and Ride Your Bike Shop, we can offer those helmets for a $5 copay for children and a $10 copay for adults. Great way to get a quality helmet.
And you've done that. That's, these are the things, folks, that a Vision 2020, when you have the overarching group, you get volunteers like Steve, and then these new things start to happen, and they become annual.
It should be a fun day. We're partnering, as I said, with the YMCA, Ride Your Bike Shop, Police Department, Ambulance, Mayo Clinic Health Systems. We're going to be there to promote safety, talk about safety, let the kids ride a little course, and get a new helmet to be safe out on the roads.
Bike Walk to School Work Day in May.
Yes, coming up. We're going to combine Bike Walk to School and Bike Walk to Work, both on May 15th this year. So again, we're going to promote people getting out and getting to work. Leave the car at home and use your bike, walk, and get a little exercise that day.
Encourage, now this is a MnDOT program, Share the Road information.
Right, we are partnering with, they offer a lot of information for us, MnDOT does, to share with the public. And so we will have that available actually at our Bike Safety Day, but it is information about how vehicles and bicyclists can share the road. It's a fact that about 50% of accidents involving bicyclists and motorists, 50% are caused by the motorists, 50% by the bicyclists. So we need that education piece, if you will, and awareness to avoid those sorts of things.
And Pedal Minnesota, and then this is the name of another program here, Bike Walk Fun. But this is more of a curriculum that you're trying to work into the schools.
That is correct. That is correct. Again, partnering with Bicycle Alliance of Minnesota and MnDOT, Pedal Minnesota, we put this curriculum together, and they will come down to Austin and have a one-day session to train our teachers and instructors on how to present this course to kids. And we think it's important to start at a young age, kindergarten, preschool. We're open to doing that. So we want to promote, and teachers and schools
And that's
Have-
nothing with the public to get involved, but your committee is going to coordinate to bring their representative down to meet with the folks at school, and you have buy-in from the district? Have you had talks with them?
Yes, they are willing to do that. They're anxious to do it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Bicycle Alliance, even to help it work, provides funding to provide substitute teachers on those days, just so teachers can attend the sessions.
And folks might be interested, 'tis the season. If you want to volunteer your service, you're looking for a few good men and women.
Absolutely. We're always welcome, open to more faces and more help on our committee.
And they can go to the website. Is that the best way? I mean, the Vision 2020 website to make contact with the committee?
I would say so. Through Laura Helly and the Vision 2020 website would be the best way to go.
You meet monthly? Or
We
how
do
does that-
meet monthly. We meet on the fourth Tuesday of the month at 12 o'clock noon.
And on your bikes, do you ride during your meetings? or-
Some do. They come in. Yes. It is great.
Okay, Steve Kime, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much.
And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for us, this edition of On Cue. I'm Eric Olson. See you next time.
On Cue is a production of KSMQ Television in Austin, nonprofit public television.